Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who probably haven't seen an update from me for quite some time, there is a reason. The title of this video is not clickbait. It definitely happened. We did get broken into at our factory where we store all of our cars. So between this car, a race car, and another car that my friend owns. So I decided to take a bit of a break from posting videos online until the car was at a stage where I could actually get it home and can work on it at home, because I felt very uncomfortable after the break-in, leaving all my tools, my equipment, and car parts there. So glad that you guys are here with us, and hopefully we can continue the journey together. So as you can see now, the car is home and a lot cleaner than what it was when we were working on it down at our factory. Obviously got a lot more time here, get to work on it a little bit every day. And for the past 6 months, I've been working on something that most people absolutely hate doing, and that is rewiring the entire car wire by wire. As far as the work's concerned, there probably wasn't that much to do in the engine bay itself. Mainly got myself a relay fuse box. It's kind of like an all-in-one. Got that one online. Holds 10 relays and over 15 fuses, so it makes it very easy just to wire everything into here. Now you got to keep in mind that this car had a push start button, so we had to do everything to installing a new ignition module, an actual barrel with a key, and wire everything up from scratch. Obviously we've got all the headlight wiring. As far as the engine wiring is concerned, outside of like power to the ignition, power to the fuel pump, the rest of the wiring loom is directly out of an E36. So that kind of just really simple wiring as far as the engine loom's concerned. It's the car wiring where it starts to get a little bit tricky. So if you've been following this build, you know that when I first got it, it was completely stripped of every single wire. So not only do we have to wire up things like power, battery, earth, engine loom, we have to go everything down to the headlights, even down to the brake lights, indicators, reverse lights, absolutely everything. So because the idea is that one day this car will be able to be street driven, I'm going to make sure that everything works the way that it's supposed to. So what these mean is things like we can't just have an on-off switch for the hazard lights. We actually need to have a left indicator and a right indicator. So most of these BMWs do run on a CAN bus system. So we've gone back to real old school kind of wiring, just your positive, negative, actual switches that do all the work. A lot of 3D printing, a lot of custom stuff made. I didn't want it to look like a rough wiring job and just drill holes into the dashboard and things like that. So I'll actually run you through a couple of the things that I 3D printed for this car. It's all been printed out of PETG, which should make it quite resistant to temperature, heat, and what have you. First, I'll start with probably one of my favorite little pieces, and that's here with this little indicator stalk. So it's actually a forward and reverse switch off a go-kart or electric go-kart. And I've just 3D printed this little extension here. We want our left indicator, our right indicator, and then just on top of the steering column, we've got our hazard light switch, and that obviously works through the indicator to work. Over here in the dashboard, obviously we've got our basic switches. We need our headlights, we need our wiper, also running a electric heater that'll blow hot air up into the windscreen just on those really cold days and cold mornings at drift events, just to sort of defog the inside of the car. And the actual bracket itself, back here that all these switches sit on, has also been 3D printed. Had to change, obviously, if you have a BMW 135 or any sort of BMW, probably from 2010 up to about 2014, 15, you normally have a start button there. Obviously, because this car had zero wiring, we had to go back to an old school ignition barrel with an ignition switch. So pretty much here, we pop our key in, we can have our accessories, ignition, and our starter motor. So it makes things a lot less complicated, and obviously a lot less things to go wrong when you're actually at a drift event. A couple of other little bits and pieces are things like these little covers for the holes to the original indicators. I've obviously designed those and printed those out of PETG, mainly because I didn't want the car looking really messy and just having a dashboard with holes everywhere. So the plan is to kind of have the dashboard look like it's meant to be a standard sort of street car rather than a stripped out track and drift car. Although almost everything is wired up, it's not really neat right now. Obviously we're just in the beginning stages of making sure that everything's working. As far as the engine loom is concerned, I mean, you know, 1 or 2 wires is all that's really required to get the car running. The rest of the work's really been all of the little details, and the main thing's actually been I've moved to a digital dash. Now, the thing with the digital dash is there's every single sensor pretty much runs back to the dashboard, including everything from your high beam lights, your headlights, indicator switches, your wiper, absolutely everything has to run back into the dash. Again, a lot of wiring, a lot to be done, a lot neatening up to be done, but we're definitely getting somewhere. So with all that said, we're definitely making a lot of progress on the car, but as I mentioned earlier in this video, we did get broken into at our factory. Gonna throw up a bit of footage. Some people rocked up probably around 11 o'clock on a long weekend. It was 11 p.m, about 3-4 people. One person came earlier, broke through the door, got into the factory, and then I got that gut-wrenching call from my best friend who I share the factory with, and he asked me if I was actually in the factory at that time. I said, listen, I'm not, I'm in the city. So the guys didn't really have a lot of time. They only were there for about 10 to 15 minutes, but they took a lot of stuff, mainly targeting a lot of our tools, anything that was sort of in bags or ready to carry or looked like something brand new that they could resell. Luckily, things like my really expensive turbo, and my coilovers didn't get stolen. However, they did take my coilovers outside in the box, but the car that they were in was actually a BMW of some type. We don't know exactly what type of BMW it was, but they only pretty much took whatever they could fit in the boot and whatever they could squeeze into the back seat with them. So luckily, a lot of those really high ticket cost sort of items didn't get stolen. So I guess, I mean, we were only lucky because they came in a small car. So very, very blessed. Nobody got hurt. The police were there about 3 minutes after they actually left. Interestingly enough, we did get a phone call about 3 or 4 days later from the police station. So my best friend, he does something called water treatment, which requires some very, very specific equipment that's required to do it, although be it very expensive equipment. And the police actually found that equipment in the man's boot. So we were able to recover some of our tools, absolutely nowhere near everything, even to my 3D printer, which I had there at the factory for all my like emergency 3D prints, even that was taken. So look, I'm not going to get let down, or I was quite upset about it. Obviously stopped making videos for quite some time. It was a very upsetting time. I felt like maybe me making the videos is what caused it. After speaking with the police, you know, even to just recently, they've advised us that it was actually a targeted night and they went out and they were breaking into as many factories they can get into. So feeling a lot more comfortable now. It wasn't necessarily targeted, but what that meant was I no longer felt safe keeping all my tools, all my expensive car parts there. Decided to bring everything home, get the car into a stage where it would actually turn over, start and run, bring it home so I can start doing all the wiring, obviously quietly during the night while everyone's sleeping. You know, I obviously work Monday to Friday as well. So I've been kind of doing that every night to get the car to the stage where it is now. And now we're at the point where I can actually get the car over up into my garage and we can start putting on things like turbo, intercooler, you got intercooler piping. We're going to finish off the digital dash, which I'm still kind of not comfortable putting it in just yet because it's probably not very cheap. But really long story short, car's at home now. I've got cameras. I'm here all the time. I've got bollards set up in my garage, so I'm a lot more comfortable having everything at home. So in the next video, we're going to get to more of the wiring. I really want to get the wiring done before I get it over into my driveway and into my garage. So next video, we're probably going to wrap up, finalize all the wiring, and then we'll get onto all the fun stuff, start doing some fabrication. Car's not really that far from being a driving car. Obviously, just everything that I've done to now, I'd like to go over and redo. Things like the fuel system, things like the tail shaft. If you saw in the previous video, it was a temporary setup. We still need to send that off, get that fixed. So I really hope you enjoyed the video or got some insight on the video as to why I haven't been around for quite some time. And if you could, give us a like, hit us a subscribe, hit that bell icon, and then you'll see the next video that comes up will be all about the wiring and hopefully get that all buckled up. So we'll see you in the next one.
Hi.
Hi what?
Hi.
Yeah? Hi what?
Hi.
Hi to who? Who are you saying hello to? Who's them?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Okay.
It's under my eyes.
Something else.
Yeah.
Okay.